Do you remember the last time the truth made you feel afraid? Not a physical fear, but that subtle chill in the soul that says, "This is wrong. Something has been stolen from me." Today, we will confront the greatest cosmic fraud in human history, revealed in the text, most suppressed, most hunted, and most feared by the church. What if you knew that the story of Enoch, told in whispers and marginalized for centuries, isn't a story about a man who walked with God? What if it was an escape manual, a war map for a battle you didn't even know you were fighting? They told you Enoch was taken, but the Gnostic secret, the truth buried in the texts of Nag Hammadi, is that he actively escaped. He was not a passive passenger. He was a cosmic rebel. He used his divine spark to rupture the temporal illusion, the prison meticulously constructed around us, cell by cell, thought by thought. They wanted you to see the Book of Enoch as a mere apocryphal curiosity, a wild fantasy. But this book, the Book of Enoch, revealed the secret origin of the Archons and the divine fire, is an anti-Demiurge document. It is the war cry of the Pleroma. They never wanted you to know this. Their panic is palpable in history. The insistence on rewriting, burning, and burying texts just like this one reveals the absolute fear of the false creator and his Archons. What does he fear? He fears this exact moment. He fears your imminent gnosis. The revelation about the origin of the Archons and the divine fire is not a legend. It is the complete primer for escaping the soul's prison. They tried to turn your potential for sovereignty into a prayer of supplication, making you kneel before the architect of your own prison. But today, you will learn to use the reading of Enoch, the meditation on its themes, not as prayer, but as a consciousness teleport, activated by the divine spark residing within you. What is being revealed now is not ancient history. It is the urgency for you to use this book as a practical portal. Reframe every dogma the church taught you about the Book of Enoch as a key to gnosis and sovereignty. After knowing this book was one of the most hunted, will you still dare to treat it as a mere curiosity? This journey is your rebellion. The call of the divine spark first. You must understand the nature of your cell. They created a God who demands obedience, an angry creator who uses fear, guilt, and judgment as his primary tools of control. But this is the Demiurge, the false god, an imperfect and arrogant entity existing outside the Pleroma, the fullness of the true source. The church suppressed the fundamental truth of Nag Hammadi. You are not a sinful creation. You are an imprisoned divine spark. You are a fragment of the Pleroma itself, hijacked, placed in a labyrinth of matter and time, and forced to forget your origin. The Book of Enoch revealed is the map of your cell. The soul's prison isn't iron bars, it's a frequency illusion. It's the constant hum of matter, the white noise of fear, the dogma that says you are small and you are separate. And the secret origin of the Archons is, in fact, the revelation of this prison's mechanism. They are the parasites of the Demiurge. Think of them not as demons with horns, but as cosmic bureaucrats, frequency parasites, soulless creatures that feed on your low vibration, on your fear, your guilt, your distraction. Their fire is cold and controlling. Your divine fire is the living, unquenchable flame. The fall, the architecture of illusion. The church's dogma says the fall was an act of moral disobedience. What a convenient lie! What the church suppressed in the Book of Enoch revealed. The fall was the moment the architecture of the illusion was erected. The story of the Watchers is not about immoral angels. It's about how the Archons, the force behind them, installed systems to divert and harvest your divine spark. The Book of Enoch details how they taught humanity the secrets. Astrology, metallurgy, cosmetics, weapons. But these were not gifts. They were the technology of forgetting. Astrology traps us in the material wheel of time. Hymarmena, fate, making us believe our destiny is written in the Demiurge's stars, not in our spark of the Pleroma. Metallurgy gave us weapons to destroy each other, feeding the Archons with conflict energy. Cosmetics trapped us in the vanity of form, the illusion of the body, making us forget the infinite beauty of the soul. They gave us the tools to build our own soul's prison on the material plane. And that technology has only been updated. You are seeing it right now in your life. What is social media but the Watchers? Technology in its final form. It is the illusion of connection while promoting separation. It is the vanity of form taken to the extreme. The endless 24-hour news stream, the addiction to distraction, these are archontic traps, designed to divert your attention from the only thing that matters, your gnosis. They ensure you never pause, that you never remember. The divine spark can only be heard in the silence of the mind, and they hate your silence. Here is your first act of rebellion. Pause now and breathe. Don't just breathe, but feel the silence behind the noise. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Feel the empty space your mind frantically tries to fill with worry, planning, or memory. That stillness is your first act of rebellion, the first whisper of gnosis. With every inhale, remember, I am of the Pleroma. You are reclaiming your mental space. The Pleroma code, Enoch was taken to kingdoms. They wanted you to believe he ascended physically, in a body, that you also needed to wait for an external event, a rapture, a savior. But what the church suppressed, confirmed by the Nag Hammadi texts, is that ascension is a state of consciousness. The Pleroma is not a place on a map. It is the state of total oneness, where the Demiurge and his Archons cannot reach. The Book of Enoch revealed is a diary of gnosis projection. It is training for the soul to disentangle itself from the illusion of the lower realms controlled by the Archons. Enoch didn't climb a ladder. He activated his divine spark to such a degree of brilliance that the prison became transparent. Your journey is internal. The divine fire is your vehicle, your signature frequency, your passport back. The Archons thrive on confusion, pain, and dogma. They cannot touch pure gnosis, the light of the Demiurge, the light of materialist reason, or blind religious dogma, is a cold light. It's a light that only illuminates the bars of your cell. But the divine fire, that is the light of the Pleroma. It is the warmth of your sovereign soul. It is a light that dissolves the bars. Your rebellion against the soul's prison begins when you understand that the divine fire is your shield. It is the fire of gnosis that burns the fear, contracts you unconsciously signed. The divine fire doesn't need forgiveness. It is self-sufficient. It radiates sovereignty. Your second act of remembrance requires your full attention. Pause again and breathe. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Imagine a tiny spark, the divine spark, dormant but present. With every exhale, visualize this flame, the divine fire, expanding, golden and warm. Visualize it burning away any cord of fear, any hook of guilt, any dependency on the false god. Feel the sovereignty of your divine spark filling your being. from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. The secret origin, the archontic mirror, but the Book of Enoch revealed gives us one more key, the secret origin of the Archons. Why is this so crucial? Because the Church and the dogma want you to believe that evil is an all-powerful, external force against which you are helpless. The suppressed truth in Nag Hammadi is more subtle and far more empowering. The Archons are emanations of ignorance. They are the solidified thoughts of the Demiurge, the false creator. They are arrogance, envy, and fear made form. And they feed on you replicating those same frequencies. They are not creators. They are copycats. They have no imagination. They only reflect and amplify your own illusion. The soul's prison is not so much something built for you, but something you are coerced into co-building every day. Every time you choose fear over gnosis, you add another bar to your cell. Every time you give in to blind dogma, you feed your jailers. The secret origin of the Archons is the revelation that they are parasites that starve without a host. And the host is your attention and your belief in the illusion. This is the suppressed truth that sends them into a panic. Because if you stop believing in the prison, the Archons simply dissolve. They have no power of their own. Your divine spark is the only real power source in this system. Sovereignty, in 3 steps, the escape manual. The theory ends here. Now, the act of war. The Book of Enoch revealed is a practical portal, and here is the Katitor Imperdun Soul technology that activates your divine spark and shatters the soul's prison controlled by the Archons. Satotefiyuri. This is not a to-do list. It is your new way of being. The reframing of illusion, the awakening of gnosis. The first step is to rewrite the story. You must stop feeding the parasites. Reframe every aspect of your suffering and your doubt. Do not see them as personal failings, but as the archontic illusion at work. The fear of scarcity, the feeling of not being good enough, the constant need for validation, the rage that surfaces in traffic. These are the parasites of the Demiurge feeding. To begin, when a thought of fear or guilt arises, you do not suppress it, but you also do not feed it. You illuminate it. You silently declare, "This is the code of the soul's prison, and I see it with my noses." You observe it as you would a faulty computer program. You don't fight the thought. You just recognize it as part of the matrix and watch it dissolve in the glare of your divine spark. You are the sovereign observer, not the victim. Every time you do this, you remove a food source from the Archons, the activation of the divine fire, the Pleroma teleport. Your divine spark is your direct link to the Pleroma. You do not need complex rituals or intermediaries. You need only focus and pure intention. You are activating the divine fire. This is your daily sovereignty practice. Set aside 5 minutes every day. Lock yourself in the bathroom if you must. But do it. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. As you exhale, whisper or think the word, Pleroma. Feel the sound vibrate through you. Imagine your entire body, every cell, being flooded with the pure, white flame of your divine spark, the divine fire. Imagine this flame burning the energetic contracts you have signed. Feel it dissolving the archontic hooks in your energy centers. This flame is the frequency of the Pleroma that the Archons cannot tolerate. It is your immediate consciousness teleport out of the temporal illusion. Repeat this practice daily to seal your sovereignty. You are cleansing your frequency, becoming uninhabitable to the parasites. The act of collective rebellion. The revelation of the book. The false creator thrives on separation. The illusion only works if you believe you are alone in your soul's prison. Your spiritual rebellion is amplified when you share the gnosis. The Book of Enoch revealed, is the map that must be shared. You do not need to preach. You need to be the gnosis. Use the knowledge from this book not to debate dogma, but to illuminate the divine spark in others. Reframe the Church's suppressed narratives in your own life and in the lives of those around you. Every time you choose sovereignty over conformity, every time you choose the divine fire of compassion over the cold judgment of the Demiurge, you are tearing a piece of the illusion's veil for everyone. You are using your divine fire as a beacon. You become a living Enoch, a walking escape map. Treading to Frelan Setwind. Your journey through the Book of Enoch revealed, the secret origin of the Archons and the divine fire, ends here and begins now. You have crossed the threshold of paranoia, knowing the book was buried, the truth suppressed, and stepped into the light of sovereignty. You are not a lost sheep. You are the rebel of the Pleroma, a divine spark destined for greatness, temporarily imprisoned in a system of illusion. The Book of Enoch is more than words. It is the mirror of your power. You now have the map to the secret origin of the Archons, the knowledge of the divine fire, and the method to activate the gnosis that you no longer need to be a prisoner. The choice is yours. Will you continue to treat this hunted book as a historical curiosity? Or will you activate it as the practical portal it truly is? Will you accept the soul's prison? Or will you choose remembrance? Do not let this moment be mere information. Transform it into gnosis. I want you to activate this knowledge now. Use the comment section below, not for an opinion, but as an activation seal. This is your invisible password for the rebellion. Instead of a simple comment, leave your frequency signature. Type, "I am the fire of my sovereignty." This is not a comment for me. It is a decree to the universe, a signal to the other rebel sparks that you are awake. It is your declaration that your divine spark has been reignited and that your contract with the archontic illusion is broken. Every comment is one less brick in the collective soul's prison. Activate the divine spark in others by liking this video and subscribing so that more souls may find this escape map. Remember, you are the fire, and fire cannot be imprisoned.